It's official, FAANG is over. The big FAANG companies are slowing down hiring because of reduced profits. Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, and Google have all started hiring freezes and stopped their new grad programs, but they are not alone. Pinterest, Shopify, Adobe, DocuSign, Disney, Tesla, Instacart, Uber, and Lyft have all implemented hiring freezes. So I think it's safe to say that FAANG companies will not be leading the charge in high salary or a lot of job offers for next year. It's official, FAANG peaked in late 2021 when stock prices were sky high, and now as we go into 2023, everyone is agreeing that a recession is coming, and so is FAANG. They've definitely changed things. Going into Google specifically, they are under a hiring freeze and have reduced the number of interns that they're taking next year. But Google has been a little more gentle than other companies like Meta. Meta says that they will have fewer employees in 2023 than 2022. They've stopped all internship programs, and for the people that they have already offered internship jobs to, well, they have rescinded the job offers and asked them to sign an NDA after paying them 1 month's salary for the rescinded offer. Less than 10% of the current interns are converting to full employees, which is not a good number. It's definitely higher and more 40 to 50%. Don't quote me on that, but Mark Zuckerberg has said himself that the workload at Facebook/Meta will increase by 200% next year. Current employees that can't keep up the pace will be let go, but they've also been encouraged to find new teams in the company if they can't perform at 200% or just leave the company with a severance package. Amazon is also under a hiring freeze and they have no new grad program, but they are also outsourcing jobs to either consultancy companies or to overseas employees. And if you heard the repeating theme of the no new grad programs, it seems like the doors of FAANG are closing on new grads. So people who are in a CS program in 2022 or 2023 graduation dates. So people who have 2022 or 2023 graduation dates in a CS program, well, they're kind of out of luck. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what you can do now that FAANG has closed all the doors on their hiring. And first thing I would say is most people in tech glorify these FAANG companies. Not only do they offer some of the best salaries in the industry, but they're well-known brands that are usually on your phone. So most people in tech will go to these jobs and apply. Even Cisco is a well-known tech company, even though they don't offer the highest salaries. It is a place that a ton of people apply to all the time. Well, now that a lot of new grads can't find jobs, your competition is higher than ever. And it's not just new grads. Anyone that's looking for a job in 2023, I can guarantee will not easily find a job at these FAANG companies. And that is my first tip if you're trying to get a job during these harder times, is consider companies that are not so well known. It's really easy to find them. You just look for software engineer roles posted online. I know a lot of people in computer science fields don't usually apply to jobs. That's why I have a job, because they don't apply. But if you look through these job listings, you're going to find a ton of know-nothing companies in the tech industry that can pay you a plenty good salary, and they typically struggle to hire good developers. Well, now is the time that they get to shine because the good developers are struggling to find a job. I would also suggest to apply for jobs in less popular cities. We all know the tech hubs, New York, San Francisco, LA. Now you have upcoming tech hubs in Phoenix, Utah, the whole state, I count it because it's so rural, Atlanta, just to name a few of the up-and-coming, Boston as well, up-and-coming tech cities. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe I won't move to the Bay Area and try to get a Bay Area job, but I'll move to Atlanta, right? That's not so well known of a city. Well, sorry, it's on the list of new tech hubs all over the internet, and they are starting to become known as tech cities. I would suggest cities like Albuquerque, Columbus, Ohio. Those not so popular cities have people that they're hiring. I know IBM is hiring in Albuquerque and Columbus, Ohio. I know an entry-level engineer who got $110K salary per year to move to Columbus, Ohio. So think about your network, who you know. Do you have any friends in these random cities? Well, go apply to jobs there, development jobs that you may know about, because you could go crash on your friend's couch for a few days until you find a place to stay. It's a lot easier to do that than trying to move to LA for a job because you have no friends there. And even if you do, your friends probably live in a smaller apartment or house. And with the price of rent in California, I'm sure they will eventually ask you to pay rent. My next tip is to stop demanding fully remote. If you are entry level, there's almost no way you're going to get a remote job that pays well in this economy. But even if you are not entry level, you're mid to senior in your career, there is a chance that the best job offer you will get will be hybrid or on site. So here's the bad news about remote working. It was really cool in quarantine because companies didn't have a choice. But then a lot of people got into the overwork culture. I have a video about that on my channel. Please go check it out. But overworking is when someone holds 2 jobs at one time. And all over the internet, Reddit, there's tons of tips on how to successfully overwork at a job. That means that you basically slack off at 2 jobs. That basically means you slack off at 2 jobs at once. And to do this overwork thing, you usually have to get a remote job, right? How can you work 2 jobs at once if you're on site? So these remote jobs have been targeted by overworkers as well as people trying to pose as US residents overseas, trying to get remote jobs as US residents. And that's a bit more common than you would imagine. Those have definitely dented into the possibility of remote for most employees, but also a lot of companies have seen a lack of success hiring remote employees. I know I personally hired 2 remote employees and both of them got let go from the company within the first 90 days because they were not performing well enough. Because of that, my company no longer hires remote. So if you insist on getting a remote job, well, just know that you are insisting on having fewer job opportunities. And I would suggest you take the first full remote offer that you get. That's certainly what I did. My next tip is to consider jobs that are not necessarily software developer jobs. During the recession, you will see a lot of software consultant jobs. That means that a company or business or person needs something built, coded, developed, but they don't need a full-time employee. So they're going to hire a temporary consultant. It might be hard to get an entry-level job as a consultant, but if you are entry, I would consider something like a data analytics role. Data will consistently be a hotspot in tech moving forward since data is a big topic in tech, right? So you may be able to get a data analytics job that turns into a data science job that turns into a data engineer job. And that would be a great path to follow if that's in front of you. So I would suggest it. You could also do IT or tech support. I've seen plenty of developers before the recession go from IT support to DevOps engineer to software engineer. So it's definitely something that happens a lot in the industry and something to consider. You might not get your fancy software developer role right out of college, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to meet your FAANG competitors further on in your career. I definitely have seen it myself, people who went from tech support to FAANG, so you can do it too. Next, I would suggest to keep working on your resume. There's tons of gig companies or websites that you can go on to, finding people who need a developer for a project. They might not pay that much, but they will probably have the patience to work through revisions with you and tolerate any convoluted code that you make because they're not looking at it anyway. And it's a great way to put consultancy freelance work on your resume, or just have proof of code that you have developed, that a working application that people can actually download. You would be surprised how significant that is. Not only is it easier for me to find your resume and see how your experience applies to your job, but then you just have more stuff to put on your resume. A lot of people suggest doing hackathons, and while the hackathons show that you have been busy, I don't know if they hold that much weight or significance on your resume, but I would consider putting school projects on your resume, especially if they took several weeks or months with several other people on the team. It's something to talk about and it's something to put on your resume. Finally, and I know not every introvert in the tech industry is excited to hear this, but use your network. And if you're a new grad, your network is your friends and your family. It doesn't feel like that much. I know when I graduated, I asked my family what networks they had or what connections that they had in the industry, and they told me no one, nothing, good luck. So what did I do? Well, I went to tons of meetup professional events. I made sure to let people know what I did for work when I was out socializing. So if we worked in the same industry, maybe we could connect. Putting yourself out there, even on LinkedIn, connecting with directors or managers, even CEOs, CTOs. These people get connection requests all the time. So if they accept your connection request, take your opportunity and use it as much as you can. Message them. You don't have to ask them if they're hiring for a job, but I would not suggest to open liner asking them if they're hiring. You can do that research yourself and look online. Maybe ask them for career advice, get a dialogue going so that your little name and your little default profile picture set in their mind as a memory. That is how you network online. I would also suggest doing digital events, especially in the tech industry. Techies will gladly do digital events, and you can easily side message someone that you think is a relevant contact for you. But I would suggest when you network, you got to change your mentality. Your mentality is not, I'm going to go find the person that's going to connect me to the job, that's going to make my life amazing. The mentality is, I am meeting people. I am just meeting people who are professional. Maybe they work in my industry, but I'm just out here meeting people and dropping the expectations that they will be a connection to bring you a new job or just money in the future. If you go into networking thinking, oh, I'm trying to find the best people to talk to who can give me the best opportunity, well, every other rookie networker out there has the same mentality. So what just happens is there's 5 people circling around one person and everyone's trying to get a word in. That one person just wants to go home and sleep or just be left alone. But if you have the mentality that you're networking with everyone and you're just trying to meet people while those 5 people are waiting to talk to that one person, you've had a small conversation with everyone in the room. Maybe you end up talking to the secretary of that one person, the only person, which is the secretary, that has access to important person is the person that you talked to and networked with. So it increases your chance right there that you would even get an interview or get to chat with that person longer than a few minutes, longer than those 5 other people surrounding that one important person. I hope that's a really good tip for you on how to network. Let me know if you want a video on networking. I have certainly learned how to do it better, but I think it's official. FAANG is over. So if you have dreams of working at a FAANG company, well, maybe adjust your expectations. And that's my overall suggestion for 2023. Anyone who's looking for a computer science job, 2023 is the year of lowering your expectations. Lower the expectation for remote, lower the expectation for high salary, lower the expectation for stock compensation packages. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe so you can be updated on other tech news. I have a whole playlist on tech news and tech layoffs, and I'm uploading videos consistently that give you real advice in the tech industry. I'm not one of those YouTubers telling you to job hop or overwork, because that's advice for a year ago. Going into 2023 and even the end of 2022 is the season to be open to new opportunities. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.